It's time to vent with Tay, so buckle up because I'm freaking frustrated. Why am I frustrated? I'm frustrated because in today's world, being the default parent pretty much means like you are the only parent. And with that being said, being a working mother, a working single mother with 2 children is so conflicting because my children come first always, always. But in order to support my children, I need that job. But what's hard is when they're in daycare and the daycare's closed for holidays. For instance, next week is the 4th of July, so they're closed on the 4th and the 5th. Well, I'm a cart girl at a golf course, and holidays are very big here, so I need to be here. So what do? Even though I know the answer always, I ask the other parent, hey, could you help me with one of these days so I don't have to take both days off? For many reasons. 1, I don't want to lose my job. 2, I need the money. And 3, it would be nice if you could do that. Immediately, the answer was no. So it's just frustrating. Like, what if I lose my job? You know, I don't know.
Alright, Colleen, you started off by saying that your children come first always, always. Well, this girl has got to ask the most obvious question of all. If your children come first always, always, why didn't you work things out with the baby daddy to make sure that he stuck around so you could have a more secure household, a more secure environment to help out the children so you wouldn't be facing the issues of babysitting in daycare centers like you're facing right now? So by logical deduction, if your children really did come first at all times, always, always, well, your feelings have no place there. Your feelings of wanting to go back out into the world and find yourself, or you fell out of love with the baby daddy or whatever, that takes a backseat to always, always now, doesn't it? I mean, unless the baby daddy's locked up in jail or is past tense like 6 feet underground, or he refused to be by your side and he decided to run as fast as he could, probably go hide up in the mountain somewhere. Unless this is an extreme example like that, I don't see why the baby daddy isn't around. And yes, you did say that you asked the other parent to help out and they said no. So that brings up other questions, as in, how's your relationship with the other parent? How bad was the breakup? How busy is the other parent? Why couldn't you fix things with the other parent? What events transpired that the other parent just simply doesn't want anything to do with you? In the end, the biggest fact is you chose the other parent, so you have to live with your choices. Hey ladies, you could try to say this gorilla is just trying to blame her for all this, but let me point out that there are millions upon millions of cases in the US alone of men who have lost everything in family court and they still have to live with the consequences of their choices. So cry me a river, sister. Before we move on, I want to say thank you, fam, to all of my subscribers for supporting this channel. I truly appreciate all of you who leave comments, who like my videos, and share them on other social media platforms. I truly gotta say thanks, fam. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you decide to hit that subscribe button. Moving on!
I just want to meet a man that loves Jesus, loves his family, likes for a woman to cook for him because I love to cook, and that isn't, I mean, you know, that isn't a narcissist. I'm 5 feet tall, so you gotta be 5'1". Well, how is that so hard? Jesus, 5'1". You like to have food cooked for you, and you love your family. Oh, and you can't be a narcissist. Oh, and preferably in South Carolina, but at this point I'll move. I'll go to Alaska. If that's where you are, that's where I'll go.
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
Well, sister, let this girl tell you exactly what the hard part is. You see, the one thing that you have on your profile that you didn't put in this video, that you are a single mother. That changes the dynamic. All right, ladies, let me come at this from a different angle. Okay, let's imagine that you're 18 years old, completely single, you have no commitments to anybody. That's the equivalent of you going to a new car salesman and you have about $50,000 in cash on you. So you can tell the salesman, hey, it's a buyer's market right now. I can buy any car that I qualify for, and I have $50,000 to qualify for it. And then you look around the cars, great, bam. So now you made your choice. You bought a car. Unfortunately, just like life, it was your decision, and you chose a lemon. That's on you. Fast forward 4 years down the road. Well, now you got this car with a bunch of mileage on it, you know, and let's just say it's ran a good amount of miles carrying a heavy load more than once. And you no longer have the $50,000. You have maybe $2,000. So now you're asking, well, why can't I just take this car back to the dealership and sell it for $50,000, just like what I paid for it? That's you not taking into account the age of the car, all the miles that have been put on it, yada, yada, yada. Well, kind of similar when you're a single mom. You're no longer the brand new car off the lot. You're a car that needs some tender love and care, and you want a responsible new owner. So brand new car prices, you cannot apply. Moving on.
How do you stop being angry? Like, how do you stop being mad about that it does no good to be mad about. Like, my natural reaction when I'm like overwhelmed with like tasks on my plate, my natural reaction to that is to be like snappy and irritable until I can regain control of like my, like what I got going on, right? And I hate that. As much as I try to fight it though, in order for me to like fight that, I need silence for a little bit. When you have 5 kids, they don't care about that. Like, the 2 older do a little bit, but that's not enough. Like, most of the time they just don't care. They don't get it, and I get that because they're kids and they shouldn't have to get it. But like, okay, so I'll be like, have like too many things going on at once, and like I get stressed out, and then I get irritated because I'm stressed out and I can't like regain control because I'm being pulled in like 10 different directions. And then so I get irritable, and like when I get irritable, like my kids get the brunt of that, you know what I mean? And like my kids don't want to be yelled at on a freaking Thursday night in a car ride home because they needed to pee as soon as we left the ball field. Like, they're just being kids. That's just them being kids. And instead of me taking accountability for yelling at my kids and not having my emotions together, my brain immediately wants to go to, well, if their dad wasn't such a piece of shit, it wouldn't be like this. And you're valid for being angry, not at them, but your anger is valid because you should be able to like enjoy doing these things with them, because you shouldn't be doing this alone because it's too much for one person. And like, that's not a lie, that's the truth, but it doesn't change anything. Like, it doesn't fix the fact that I just yelled at my kids because one of them had to pee right after we left the ball field. And I wouldn't usually yell at them for that, but I yelled at them. I yelled at him tonight because I was mad, because I was irritated, and then my resentment takes the forefront.
Oh, poor you.
All right, so this entire rant so far is that she yelled at her children because she was irritated and her resentment takes the forefront. As in, you can't be an adult that's in control of your own emotions, your own feelings, and find a way to vent out another possible way. You know what? In your whole little rant, I kind of noticed that you didn't do the actual adult responsible thing of asking your children before you left the ballpark, who needs the bathroom now? We're gonna go now. Trust me, when you're a parent long enough, you tend to figure out that kids will not tell you what they need until after they need it. You have to have that game plan of addressing the issue before it actually becomes an issue with children, because children, guess what? They don't think like adults. And you have 5. How old are you again? Now, in your profile, you said that you're a single mother, but I didn't know you were a single mother of 5 puppies. And I find it amazing how you dodge accountability like Neo in the Matrix, where you said, oh, it wouldn't be so hard if the baby daddy wasn't such a POS. Who exactly decided to have 5 children? Did the baby daddy, like, obligate you every time, like put a weapon against your head and said, you are gonna have this kid and I'm forcing you into becoming a mother? Or did you say, hey, you know what? My body, my choice, as it is in the West. If you didn't want to have the child, you had the options to not become a mother. Using logic in this, the baby daddy could be a POS all he wants, but you're the one who turned him into a baby daddy. Last time this gorilla checked, men have 0 reproductive rights in the US. Hell, in the West in general. You are the one who has 100% of the power to either make him a baby daddy or not make him a baby daddy. And more specifically, you have 100% of the power of making yourself a mother or making yourself not a mother. So all I'm hearing is, well, Wisby, this is super tough. I can't believe how tough this is. And I'm angry at others, and I want to blame others for this situation. I'm angry at the kid, I'm angry at the baby daddy, and the only responsibility you're taking is, oh, I shouldn't yell. That's really the only thing that this gorilla's hearing so far. Well, I guess when you queen started chanting my body, my choice and going around saying that you wanted the rights to terminate everything, that should have been included with some instruction manuals, as in, if you decide not to, you're going to have a boatload of responsibility, to include peeing right after you get into the car. But let's hear what else this queen has to say.
Of like everything. And I'm just angry at that point. It's been long enough at this point. I should not still be blaming him. Like, at this point, it's not him. It's me. It's me. I'm the problem. Because, okay, you're right. He shouldn't have left. He should be helping with his kids. He should be raising his kids, but he's not. He's not. And you're the only one that they got. So are you going to make it miserable? Or are you going to put your big girl panties on and quit yelling over dumb and process your own emotions on your own time because you just ruin everything when you act like this. And like, I genuinely don't want to be angry anymore. Like, I don't want to even think about him when I'm having a bad day. I don't want to blame him for it. I want to figure out how to do it myself. Like, how do you stop being angry about that? Because it's so valid. Like, and like, he should be helping you, not even for me, for them. Because they don't deserve to be yelled at. Because I'm stressed and overwhelmed because there's too much to do with all these kids for one person. And then, like, on top of that, you got adults, full-grown adults over here in this ball field making drama up out of thin air because they're so bored. And I'm like, listen, if you're so bored, I'll give you something to do. Like, I could use your help over here. You know what I mean? Like, don't go as a grown adult. Don't go picking on kids because you don't have anything better to do when you leave this field. Like, 3 parents left crying tonight. 2 of them were crying because their kids were arguing, and 1 of them left crying because I wish I was crying because my kids were arguing. And I'm not like making my problems bigger than theirs, but like, I wish that I had the time to be that bored to like to start some drama between 10-year-olds because I have nothing else to do. You know what I mean?
All right, so far this queen says that the baby daddy is the one who left. You know what? Let's assume that's exactly what happened, that he left. Even though many men are going to come out and say, hey, you know what? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense because why would a guy leave his woman with 5 kids, 5 small kids? Wherever he goes, he still has to pay a huge amount of child support for all 5 children. Unless the new girl that he's got in his life is super fantastic, or this woman, the baby mama, is so toxic, there really isn't another reason for him to leave. Although, to be honest, in this girl's opinion, I don't think there was another woman, because usually when there is another woman, the baby mamas who make these long videos mention that off rip to discredit her ex. But since she didn't mention that, I'm thinking it's something that she may have done that pushed him away. But hey, we'll run with it. He left. And continuing on her rant, she was talking about how she was upset because she was seeing all these other parents picking on kids at the ball game, but then she says that they were crying because the kids were crying. No, be more specific, Queen. What you're talking about is you were upset because you saw 2-parent households. You saw 2 parents out there with their children when you were by yourself. You said it yourself. If you want some drama, I'll give you something to do. Okay, fine. That's something that you want. As in, you are a single mom and you need help. And you keep resenting your ex. I'm sorry, Queen, but see, something doesn't match up right here with this gorilla. Because you keep mentioning your ex over and over and over again. It really sounds like you miss him. And if we're going to use just basic logic, you're not going to miss a true POS. You're not going to miss somebody who was abusive. You're not going to miss someone who went out of their way to make you miserable. No, usually, even in femme speak, when a woman misses a man, usually it's because the guy left an impression that stayed with them. I mean, that's alpha wooding 101. I would venture to say the guy wasn't a half-bad kind of guy. Something happened and he left, and now you're upset because he became the exception to the rule. He did what most women do. He left. Now here's a crazy idea that this girl is going to put out there to single moms, especially single moms who have 5 kids. How about you do this little experiment? Why don't you start dating single dads? Oh, that's right. You don't want a single dad because you don't want to take care of somebody else's kids. You want a guy to come in and take care of your kids. You know, priorities and all. Oh, well, Colleen, all this gorilla can say is add all those tears to the bucket. You got a long ways to go. Something tells this gorilla that in the not-so-distant future, you're going to be making a lot of videos about the different rides you had on the carousel.
The chat was great.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.